Hi, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns. You're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role playing games with friends. This is part of Star Wars Saturdays, which is an ongoing anthology campaign where every month I choose a different RPG system and then offer it up to the Gauntlet, which is this amazing online group of indie, small press, and OSR RPG players. And folks will RSVP and then jump in, and we create characters and tell a cool story at some point in the Star Wars galaxy. It's great. This month we are doing Bounty of the Week, which is I used to call it a reskin, but at this point, I think I can proudly call it a hack of Monster of the Week, an amazing PBTA game. I don't know why I'm using amazing so much today, but a very good PBTA game from Evil Hat, written by Michael Sands. Bounty of the Week. It is inspired by things like, I don't know, The Mandalorian. So if you've seen that, and that is definitely a good inspiration for you. The timeline is after Palpatine was killed and Death Star 2, the amazingly named Death Star 2, was destroyed. The Empire is in decline, but it has not completely fallen. So near to the Mandalorian timeline, there are still stormtroopers because we need our stormtroopers. This game is set in an area that is an Imperial remnant, led by someone known as the Warlord Zinj. And all of you are licensed bounty hunters. You currently call home a spaceport known as Black Orchard, so named because of the 5 towers that are the main part of the spaceport. And we have a number of safety tools. The safety tools include lines, which means that's content we're not at all interested in. So it won't happen. And if it does, then someone will gently remind you and we will remove that. We have veils, which means that we're okay if the content happens, but we are not going to shine a spotlight on it. So we'd fade to black, such as we have a veil on sexual content, meaning if 2 characters are going to hook up, then we do a star wipe or fade to black with some music playing in the background, whatever. We move on and then ask first, which means that it's contextual. It could be a thing that could be okay, but really depends on how. And the ask first means that if you're about to introduce this content, then check with the table before you do. So that's important, right? So if it's a thing where you slipped it in, then any one of us can say, hey, I'm sorry, it looks like, and you can do it via chat or whatever. I'm going to try to stay mindful of those, but I also get really excited sometimes. So if I blow past a stoplight, please just let me know. I will not be offended. Then on top of that, we have the X card. The X card is the trump card in that, hey, you didn't realize that this content would come flying out of the blue, or it could be a name, or it could be just a thing. And it didn't bother you last week, but it does now. That's a-okay. You just X card, hey, Rich, I need to X card this thing, or you can do it in chat. And if an X card's played, we'll pause for a moment. I may check in just to make sure I know what was X carded, because I was public school educated. So sometimes I don't, like, it might slip by me that was the thing, but you don't have to defend yourself. You don't have to explain why. All you need to do is confirm, yeah, that's the thing, idiot. I wish you'd kind of picked up on that. I've had someone X card me on teeth. I'm like, what? Okay, sure, sorry. And that's fine. And I don't get defensive. I just was surprised. And then we moved around it. And that's cool because we got 5 beautiful brains here, and I guarantee you that anything that is X carded is not going to be an impediment to our fun. In fact, it supports it and makes sure that you've got that way out if need be. So with all of that out of the way, I must warn you, friends, that this is going to be a shorter recording. I have a thing I have to take care of, and we now have 90 minutes. So I'm going to jump straight in. We start off with a cinematic cut of this beautiful ocean. And at the bottom right-hand corner, it says Listahol, Listehol. It's in the Quaimar sector. And the camera kind of scans across the ocean. Off in the distance, we see a little bit of a ridge line. And then across the ocean, we come to this gorgeous space liner. and I have a cool pic of it. So let me share that with you quickly. The space liner is actually on the ocean, so it's a thing that is space worthy. But for the moment when we introduce this scene, you see this is the beautiful thing that our camera picks up, and then we quickly come to another area that, I'm sorry, I'm crazy for pics today, so you're just gonna have to live with it. We come and we see this awesome looking ballroom area, and the crew of you are all walking alongside an individual who I have in our NPCs in places. He's the captain. His name is Yasto Atzman. He has a very, very nice, like, high collar thing going on. He's got this weird kind of grayish hair off to the side and these odd snaggle tooth things, but he seems to be able to speak around it with no problem whatsoever. And Yatso is walking, I imagine, by Talam Gendro. Talam, you're so much bigger than him. Like, you're a real big Twi'lek dude, right? If I remember correctly. Yeah, and he's saying, "Oh, I'm so glad, so very, very glad that the disintegrator was sent here. Of course, you're going to have to take care of this. If you can do so without destroying any more than she's already wrecked, Voriara, such a problem." And he starts very daintily walking up the steps of that sweeping staircase. We kind of zoom in on our first time that we've seen Win Keswick as Talam. Is we'll get the reaction from Talam. So Win, quick description. What's your reaction as you're walking through this spacious and extremely expensive looking interior of this ship?
Oh, well, she's kind of got her like normal leather jacket that still looks a little dusty. She's definitely openly gawking, is like twirling around, like has snagged like a glass of something sparkly off of like a waiter's thing, which probably wasn't being offered to everybody, but just has one as she's like now wandering around and like, oh my gosh, it's so sparkly. Whereas that like slightly confused as to why they're there, but also kind of like on the lookout, like how, what, nothing, she can't even see anything broken. But yeah, she's definitely kind of gawking and like elbowing Jody and pointing out stuff. And
What's Jody's reaction to Wynn's amazement at this place, and what do we get from our droid here, here in this wonderful, expensive area?
I think Jody is kind of trundling along, and whenever Wynn kind of pokes at her, Jody like kind of looks around and looks for, quite honestly, where the danger is, and is misinterpreting a little bit about what's going on. I don't think actually pulls a blaster, but you can see those dangerous eyes kind of swivel and start keeping watch and tracking, looking to see what's coming. So yeah.
Nice. And then last but certainly not least, the we don't call her beautiful, but Jocasta, is this a place that reminds you of somewhere back home? It is so pristine.
It does. It is. I call it a crystal trap.
Ooh.
This is. I used to have nightmares about this area, about being in this beautiful ballroom surrounded by people and absolutely unable to move, trapped like a fly in amber, as they were talking about me and deciding what to do with me. This is a precise echo of things back home in the random name Astorian system, of the kind of beauty they would, except that this is, they managed to hit the line always between understated and overstated. Everything is perfect. The waiters are not quite up to stuff, but otherwise it is a frightening echo of the kind of place that a noble person would have a party in, and it triggers Jocasta to a degree as a result. And when Wynn smiles, in enthusiasm, she smiles a little bit, and then she goes back to being guarded. This is, for her, this is less of a sort of a physical violence threat than it is a social threat. This is the kind of place where awful things happen, not necessarily having anything to do with people shooting at one another. Nice. And so she is reading people as she goes in, just picking up their thoughts and looking for trouble, waiting for the bomb to drop, as it were.
Nice. The next cut is to Talon as the captain here is now moved up the stairs and he's starting to lead you down a hallway. And the captain says, yes, of course she's not an actual passenger. She must be some kind of stowaway. I understand she has some kind of jet boots or something. Perhaps she just flew in and took over one of the unused rooms. She's been nothing but trouble, and I know she's wanted for murder, and we don't like such things on this beautiful, beautiful ship. The Victor, I call it.
That he's saying that's the ship's name is the Victor?
Yes. This passenger liner he's calling the Victor.
Talon is wearing like a periwinkle suit, and he has been on both sides. Like being a gambler, he has been like an employee at a cruise liner at one point, and he's also been a gambler at a cruise liner at one point. So he is like as comfortable as someone that's like new money would be. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I sense that Yasto is like stuffy and probably doesn't mind a sycophant. So I think Talon is going out of his way to like be overtly verbal about how awesome the ship is and what a great crew. He's definitely flattering him.
Oh, thank you ever so much. I am a baron of Lister Hall, of course, and I've poured so many of my credits into making this the perfect cruise liner. It's important to me to provide the opulence of Lister Hall to everyone here. Oh, very exclusive clientele, and they do not need the danger that this warrior represents to us. So please, if you could take care of this for me, Disruptor.
This is the captain, yeah?
Yes, it's still
okay.
the captain.
Yeah. Captain, I give you my personal guarantee that we are professionals and we
places
will take care
this
of
to
this.
his heart. Oh, those are the words that I need to hear. Now, I won't be going any further with you because, of course, she is incredibly dangerous and I'm quite important.
Captain, before you go,
yes.
We have just basked in the beauty of your ship. I would be remiss if I didn't ask you anything at all, any detail that you can tell me that you think would help. I think I want to do some investigating here while I have him.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
Yes.
So let's have you do that. Great. I'm sorry. What were you going to say?
Yes, also me also.
Awesome. So if you
yes, in fact, I'm intruding on Talon Genders to say, except the waiters. Don't ask him about the waiters.
Okay. Let's have you investigate a quarry then. Oh, yes. Sorry.
Yes, go ahead. Can we investigate a quarry that's not here?
Yes, you can ask questions about the quarry. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. And that roll is plus sharp, which
it is. Yeah,
1.
I could have told you that, huh?
Yep. No, you're good.
Okay,
8.
so you've got an 8. Do you want to call for aid, or are you good with just the 8, which gives you a 1 solitary question?
I see that you're. Well, would it bump it up to a 9, or could I get it bumped up to a 10?
So call for aid works different than the monster of the week. If you call for aid, then Jocasta will describe how she would help.
That's right.
She will roll, and if she's successful, then that will bump you up a whole level. If she fails, it draws you down to failure, and you both suffer the consequences.
Yeah. Well, Brandon, I can't see your facial expression, but I have a feeling that you are wanting to help me out here in this scene. right? And
Yes.
Jacosta's okay, cool. She's fictionally positioned to do so. So yeah, I'd like some aid.
All right. So it's the same roll with Sharp, yes?
Oh no, you can do a different stat if you just tell me how. If you feel like you're doing the same thing of just asking questions and being sharp, that's cool.
Oh, I'm not asking questions. I'm not asking questions. I'm picking up thoughts. Some people here, the captain knows something about her. Other people know her, hear something about her, or someone has seen her.
Oh, then I think maybe you're rolling with tough, which is your kind of weird stat then.
Technology is my weird stat.
Yep.
Okay.
Not tough, tech. Tech is what I meant to say. Sorry.
That's a 12.
Oh my. So that will push you to a 10 plus, but that's 2 questions. Maybe we let Jocasta ask one of those, if that's okay. So Talan, what's the first question you'd like to ask as you draw the captain close, and he's impressed enough by your ability to kiss up that he will definitely answer a question for you.
Okay.
Yes.
Out of character, he did mention that the quarry has boots, right? Rocket boots. Did I hear that right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
She does.
Okay. What is being concealed here?
Ooh, what's being concealed here? Well, from
there are no rancors on this ship.
There are no rancors on this
okay.
ship.
Just double checking.
Zero.
Okay.
No, not
for
one.
for no reason here. Certainly not when that we fought, had somebody had to fight a rancor.
A couple things are being concealed here. The first one is that you as you passed by, like maybe there's a point when you guys are up and you pass by and there's like this large casino area maybe, and you remember the stuff that they have security. They have a lot of security, but he's not deploying them. He's obviously taken I'm just going to call bounty hunters. So he's concealing the fact that he could probably take care of this himself, but is trusting in the disruptor to just blast this person so that he can wash his hands of it. That's one thing that's being concealed. The other thing that's being concealed is something that you picked up in maybe in the bounty or some research. Voriara was basically part of the rebellion. So she kind of is a war hero, except, maybe war hero past or prime kind of thing. Maybe like maybe not desirable anymore in these particular areas, especially in this Imperial remnant. So those are the couple things that are being concealed.
So one person's war hero is another person's terrorist, right? So she's a war hero to some.
A war hero to some, and a nightmare to others. Jocasta, what's the question that you have to ask from the list?
And so this is a cyborg, as we understand.
Yes.
Well, there's no hunting it until we find out where it is. So where did it go?
Where did it go? So you, Jocasta, you reach out, maybe because you said you're sensing things, and while the captain seems to be just leading you guys down a hallway, you get this big feeling, Jocasta, the sensation of a person in just constant physical pain. And like the feeling of ghost limbs and the loss of humanity from things that were taken from her. I'm not doing this cyber psychosis thing that if you get cybernetic parts, it makes you less human, but the loss of the feeling of their whole self. And you can tell that it's on the move, that this foppish captain has basically made your job harder because Voriara knows you guys are coming, and she's moving up a few decks right now as you speak.
She's okay. Telepathically, tell everyone she's on the move. She's moving a few decks up. She's heard the clamor. We better get going before she finds another
any other questions, Talan? I have Steward who'll be escorting you to the
I've got a thin link on her, but I don't know how long it's going to last. We have to go.
Okay. I give just a short enough goodbye as to not to be rude, but still be brown nosy.
Yeah, and he like pats your shoulder just so tentatively, but like there's a moment where like he's impressed by your deltoid, and then he moves on. He moves on. He moves on.
My
The captain
favorite
does
toid.
not. Yeah, so you guys are left in this opulent hallway, these beautiful plush rugs, and they got the little chandeliers that each one of them could sit in
Dripping.
somebody's really nice home.
Dripping with crystal and this honey-colored light that
Oh.
filters through, everything and turning every glass surface into a little periwinkle of light, and it just about makes Jocasta want to throw up.
Not only does it make Jocasta want to throw up, but Jocasta, you hear that little voice.
All of these people should die, Jocasta. Every one of them.
Not yet.
Oh, none of you hear that. Just Jocasta. Jocasta's the only one that gets the voiceover. Sorry. So Jocasta's informed you guys that Voriara is on the move. What do you want to do?
Hot pursuit is what I want to do. Everybody else?
Well, Talon, hand raised.
Yes, I have a move that I would like to retroactively trigger. If you need to buy something, sell something, or hire someone, roll plus charm. On a 10 plus, you know just a person. On a 7 to 9, you know the only person who can do it, but there's a complication. On a miss, the only person who can help is someone who absolutely hates you. I would like to roll that I know someone on the crew here. And we are, he is in his crew best, but he's also communicating with me, and he's got like a tray, maybe he's like an old contact.
Nice. I like it.
Okay, awesome. Can I roll on that?
Yeah, roll plus charm. Good luck.
All right.
Charm is 2. We have 2 very charming individuals in this team.
Except for some of us.
11.
Okay. With a 10 plus, just the person who's interested. So let's grab a name for that individual. We'll say that their name is Gavin Thulo. And Gavin Thulo, we like on the comms, and he says, "Oh yeah, she's up on the." Oh crap! Rich can't remember the names of different decks on nice cruise liners, so he'll say the like shuffleboard deck. She's up on the.
I think that's Lido. I think it might
Lido.
be Lido deck. Yeah.
She's up on the
Lido
Lido deck.
Yeah. Okay. This is an old contact, and I'm gonna ask him to, and we're like ex-con men and stuff, right? And gamblers, and so
Sure.
I'm gonna ask him to run the 12 parsecs, which is where he like spills a drink on her and like pats her down, and so he's gonna like stop her from moving.
Oh wow!
So that we can get there.
You're asking a lot, friend. She's
Yeah.
Yeah, she's deadly.
she's a few meters tall, and
She is. Oh, okay.
she ain't nice looking. But if you owe me, you gotta owe me a lot.
Let's do it. In the back of my head, I'm thinking if he doesn't make it, then I won't owe anything.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Bounty
hunting is a complicated profession, you are.
Jody, what are you doing right now? As I imagine the other there's a couple decks up, so you can take a lift or you can head back to those beautiful stairs in the like central area. So what's Jody doing to get up to where the quarry is?
So I think, if you don't mind, I think Wynn actually relays the telepathic message that happened.
Oh, that's
Jody
right.
doesn't get that, right?
Rich
But I think
forgot
Wynn says,
that
"Oh yeah,
the droid doesn't get to hear that stuff."
yeah.
I think that Wynn kind of says, "Oh, we have a line on them and they're here." And I think Jody is actually going to send Val, and we're going to come from different directions to kind of triangulate where she is and kind of surround her a little bit. So it sounds like Talon is arranging a delay. So Jody's going to try to set up, I don't know, so that we can surround her. So
Cool.
Jody kind of takes off on her own, sets Val off on its own, and we'll try and get the drop.
Okay. Sweet. So if you're trying to get the drop, let's say that you are acting under pressure, trying to get ahead of somebody. You do get a +1 forward because of Talon's sacrifice of his own friend. I mean, no, not me, because of the deal that was worked out with the 12 parsecs thing.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I'll roll that.
Yeah, the giant spike through his own friend.
So I rolled a 5 plus 1. My cool is 1, so that's a 6. Plus the
Oh.
+1 is a 7. So it just barely made it.
That is a squeak and a half there. Look at you just
Yeah.
squeaking by. Okay, so under pressure, on a 7 to 9, the GM is going to give you a worse outcome, hard choice, or price to pay. You can set up this trap where you've cornered Voriara, but she's going to be wholly focused on you, Jody, and realize it's a trap. Is that okay?
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds great.
Sweet. So Jody was heading up. Who else? Like you were heading up, maybe lift or stairs for Jody, or going out and going up the outside. What do you think?
I think this is more like the employee's entrance. Something that's out of the way, and as soon as Jody steps out onto the deck where she is, she was watching that entrance. She was like, that's where the hires are going to come from.
Nice. And then you were coordinating with all the other 3 or any one particular person?
I think I was coordinating with the other 3.
Okay.
They can, we'll see what they do. Yeah.
Sweet. So when Talon and Jocasta, the 3 of you, make your way up as Jody has drawn Voriara. So we're out in the sunlight. There's the beautiful wood of the deck, and you see these like little shuffleboard things, but everybody's kind of moved to the side. And right in the middle is this. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with the metric system, so I will just say 6.5 foot tall woman. You can see the picture of Voriara. She has an eye patch over one eye, but Jody, you pick up that like the eye patch is kind of a mesh, and she's got a cybernetic eye underneath that. She has completely replaced her right arm, and then from the knees down are these like big, this wide boots, and she does not fit any of this at all. And sure enough, standing right in front of her, dabbing at her chest where he spilled a drink, is Gavin Thulo. He's playing it to the hilt, man. He's doing the whole thing. But then she spots Jody, and it's like she just shoves him to the side. He falls, bam, he kind of skids across like a little shuffleboard, puck. And Voriara says,
"All right, droid, back off. You don't want to mess with me."
I think Jody kind of has a pistol, a blaster in her hand, and kind of puts up her hands and then kind of starts to move off to the side and back up a little bit, not approaching, not backing off, but drawing attention.
nice.
All I want some criffing R&R. This place is nice. This place is mine.
And she's walking a little bit towards you, the shadow of one of the next decks overhead, casting a bit. So Jocasta, you had a thing?
Yeah, well, no, if I pop out on the other side, then I'm going to say aloud, for a change, you're hurting too bad for that.
She turns and she looks at you.
What would you know? Pretty little flower. You don't know anything.
And she's going to stomp towards you, Jocasta.
I know pain. I was in psychic link with someone who was tortured to death.
Yeah.
And you need fixing.
What?
You do.
No. I see things you wouldn't believe. Attack ships off the shoulder of Yavin. I'll watch the Death Star's laser light up the shores of Scarif.
That must have been something. And Mercy killed a dozen people who couldn't get medical aid.
Wow. Did you get a medal for that?
No. I got a bounty put on my head for it. I got nothing but misery and such for every good thing I've ever done. And heroes don't get treated well. And nobody cares about them after they're done being heroes. That's what I found out.
You're not wrong.
How the hell did you end up here?
It's a long story. Doesn't matter.
No, guess it doesn't. Somebody wants you bad enough to put you down. I don't know why. If it were me, I'd let you just suffer. If I hated you that much.
Well, maybe I know too much.
I guess so. I'm going to try to probe her.
Trying to what?
Probe her.
Oh, okay.
So, what are you doing as Jacosta's and Jody? Like, I imagine Jody, she's talking to Jocasta. Variara is talking to Jocasta, but still watching you, thinking you're a main threat because, Jocasta.
Weapon out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
What's Wynn doing?
I think she's just kind of like doing the whole tennis match back and forth. Like, what is, huh? And like, this is a lot. Like, that's probably more even than she's heard specifically from Jocasta. And I think she's kind of looking at Talon, but like, he knows that there's a look in her eyes that she's like, I'm about to do something stupid. So like, I am so prepped. Yeah.
And what's Talon's reaction to this silent conversation with Wynn?
I think there's a fine line between stupidity and bravery. So
Yeah.
until Talon has her do something or sees her do something overtly stupid, he's gonna be like, go on,
Okay.
do something.
Well, she thinks that he's the most bloodthirsty of everyone. So I think that she's like, I'm about to do a thing, and if you to stop me if you don't want it to happen, but you'll have opportunity.
Okay,
We'll see.
so you have a plan to do something. You're just looking for like a go on and do it. I think
Yeah.
Talon's gonna be like, go on and do it. Don't get yourself kid. Don't get. He's gonna say, don't get cocky, kid, and go do something.
Yeah. I think
Cool.
yeah, she's gonna charge in. I think we just barely have enough time to like, she's doing that and just gets the like from him as she's headed in.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and have Jocasta do that tune-in thing, and then Wynn, if you're looking to kick some shebs, then you can go ahead and roll that move next. So Jocasta, are you?
Do I see
looking
Wynn?
to-
Do I see Wynn moving?
Sure.
Okay, then I'm going to switch to Jinx.
Okay, I'm not gonna kick some shibs though. I have a different move that I'm gonna.
Okay.
Yeah. No problem.
8.
Okay. With
So
Jinx
I
on
hold.
an
So I
8,
hold
you know,
1.
Cool. So, what are you doing then?
I'm doing the what could go wrong, which is when you charge into immediate danger without hedging your bets. You can spend hold, and I think I might want +2 forward on an act under pressure roll, because I think what she's going to do is kind of charge up and sort of look at Jocasta and look at Varaya and be like, I think it's all kind of going to come out as rest. She's like, I knew a lot of people in the rebellion too, but we have to turn in a dead bounty, and if we don't want to, I don't want to kill you, but we need to present something. Can is there a way that we could burn you? Can you take off any of your implants that we could present as like she's basically going to be like, I am suggesting that we blast something up that looks like you that we can bring back so we can get, so if you get off this ship, then we don't have to kill you. I'd love to get you off this ship. But can we bring something back to make it look like you were just mangled beyond recognition?
Okay. Is once you've given them a reason and told them what you want to do, sounds like you're trying to manipulate her.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, you can hold those two until you need them.
Yeah.
Okay.
To decide to spend them ahead of time.
So go ahead and roll
Okay.
plus charm. You're relatively charming, but she's been burned before.
Yeah. Everybody's been rolling so good on the dice rollers, so now I'm
She's
worried.
been
But
burned so many times.
I will add 2d6. Let's see. That's with my +2. That's
Yeah,
a
it
5.
Okay, so you've got a few options here. You can just eat it, which is an XP for you, and combat for everyone. You can spend a luck if you want. That pushes that to a 12, which means you won't get the XP, but you do succeed. And when you spend a luck, you'll find something weird, maybe even useful. You can call for aid from any of the other player characters. They say how they're trying to help, roll, and if they're successful, then they can push you up from that fail to a mixed success. So what do you want to do?
I think I do either want to spend luck or call for aid if somebody has an idea of how to call for it. Yes, I'll tag you in.
Okay. I think Talon is going to see her efforts and be like, oh, look at my apprentice. She's trying to do it our way. This is wonderful. Oh, nope, she's failing. Oh, nope, she's flailing. And then I think I'm gonna come in and sort of try to aid in the talking into.
Okay. Then roll me a charm then, because you're aiding in the talking into. What's the thing that you say that hopefully will put it over the edge, Talon?
I've given a lot of information.
I think,
That's true.
you know what? I think I'm just gonna go ahead and say, I'm gonna use my move Notorious here. It makes sense.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. I think
Notorious. Sorry. Just went 80s on you. I'm terrible.
I think I'm gonna walk in and very coolly show that I am packing, that I have a riot gun, which is essentially a space shotgun. And I'm gonna be like, you're outnumbered here, friend. Do you know who I am? And I'm gonna drop the bomb that I am the disintegrator, not a disintegrator, the disintegrator. And I'm gonna say, you can leave here without an arm that you can replace, or we can leave no trace of you, and that's a little bit harder to replace.
Nice. I like it. So I think that move is going to be good enough because you can only kind of drop that one. She says,
Well, I guess I should be impressed.
Flattered even. Look
She
who they
schemes
sent to come
around.
get you.
With a 7 to 9 on manipulate someone, they'll do it, but only if you do something for them right now to show that you mean it. So she says,
Okay, I give up something, you give up something. That droid, with that little buzz droid of yours. Once I get off this ship, I'll tell you where it is.
It doesn't work that way, friend.
No.
I
If you
will
don't
kill
mind,
all of you.
what was the deal again? She
She-
wants to take both of us.
no, Voriara is saying, give me your buzz droid.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
take it with me. Once I get off here, I'll drop that buzz droid off and say, here's where you can get it. But I'm not about to give up.
Oh,
She wants a
gotcha.
hostage. She wants a hostage.
Yeah, she wants a hostage. Sorry, that wasn't clear. I apologize.
No worries. I'm gonna turn to Jody and just raise one eyebrow.
Just Judy.
Jody. Jody says, "We will go with you." So, and holsters her gun and steps
Oh,
forward.
it's like you're like stepping up. You're not going to give up your buzz droid. You'll just holster your gun and
All right, brave little droid. Let's go. Get me off this ship.
and she'll do the. Sorry if this is a spoiler for anyone else. She'll do a couple button press, and then her arm just pops off, and she drops it onto the deck. And I think at that moment is when Gavin will go, if I'm going to lie for you about this one, I think maybe I need some serious credits here, buddy. Sorry.
If you don't mind,
If you
don't mind, Jody shoots him in the leg and says, "I think you're going to stay quiet."
Or better yet, I think you're going to tell everybody that there was nothing left of her. And Jody's already shot.
Yeah.
She's already done one shot. So I think I'm going to take my riot gun out and like shoot Lido deck and be like,
Okay.
And this is what was left of her. That's what you're going to tell everybody.
I think Wynn is like looking at you like, can we put on a show, please? And like has her rocket skates fired up to go and
stuff.
Yeah. If you give the nod, I think she like shoots off and like knocks a bunch of sun chairs, and she's like, oh my gosh, oh blam, and like shoots the pistol backwards at stuff, and like make sure to do a lot of collateral damage after the guy was like, don't damage anything. She's like speeding around and blowing stuff up, and like people on the other end of the deck are like screaming and fleeing. Yeah, she's having a good time racing around and putting on a big show that there was such a big fight, guys.
So vicious. I think Voriara will kind of reach a hand out to you, Jody. Say,
All right, droid. Put your arms around me. Let's blow this popsicle stand.
And I think Val kind of crawls up and gets on my back, sort of like a backpack. And I attach myself to, probably nearby her waist or her legs that are mechanical. Yeah.
cool. And then the legs just, and it's not.
Moriarty, you'd better let off a few rounds into the superstructure here.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I'm doing every voice I could possibly think of. Like, oh no, she's disintegrated. The humanity. Ah.
She pops out.
Telepathic communication to those of you who can hear. This is a terrible idea.
It's a very bad idea. Cool.
She as Wynn is diving,
rounds. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I think as Wynn is diving, she's like, next thing you know, you're gonna tell me you have a bad feeling about this, as she's like return fire.
And Voriara, true to Jacosta's recommendation, draws out a gun, fires a few of these little like discs that explode very loudly and make a lot of damage. And she will fly off of the ship, and it's not hover technology. The rocket booster she has work a little bit more like the Mandalorian jetpacks type thing. And you are moving fast, Jody. Not that it would bother you, but she says,
the rebellion freed the galaxy, more or less. What did they do for you?
I honestly don't know. I only remember bits and pieces. I think that there's another, to be honest, just between us, I think there's another war that will continue. Me and my brethren, there's not very many of us independent droids. And I think we're going to find another struggle that comes up. One that you might be more aware of.
Yeah.
And where's she taking me?
She's going to head towards those that ridge line. Evidently, she had a ship stowed there.
And I think, just to kind of tie in other characters, I think Jody has the equivalent of like a pad. On this pad has a recording from Talon that is kind of the deal. Like, this is how we can. So what I'd like to see actually from this is, here's a way to contact us. This is the way that we can help you. This is how you lie low so you're not recognized anymore. We'll get you to a medic, but you can't be recognizable. And this is the rumor that you need to spread about the disintegrator. That kind of thing. It's just the typical, he's got like a whole speech prepared. Yeah.
Nice.
And this message was self-destruct in 30 seconds.
Variara scans it.
Sure. I'll spread the lie. That's fine.
I'm going to tune into Voriar as she's going.
Oh, yes, you should. Why don't you do that?
7.
7. Okay, so on tune in, on a 7 to 9, you can hold 1.
What's it planning to do right now?
Right this minute, Variara still thinks that she can recruit Jody. And she's probably going to destroy that ship. The cruise liner you guys are currently on.
Yeah.
And so Jody responds and says, one thing that we will have to do is, your arm is a good piece of information to leave behind, but you're very recognizable with your jet boots. We'll have to get you different prosthetics so that you're not as recognizable. As Jocasta is getting all of this information about,
Talon, when the situation's about to get hot, we got to get out here. We have to get out here.
Criff, thought we she's waving the arm.
Yeah,
Thought we
she's not fleeing. She's going to a ship. She's going to come back and strafe the liner.
Is there explosive on this liner? Is that what she did?
Don't know. But if she has a good fast attack ship, she can stitch this thing up. It doesn't have much in the way of top defenses. Get.
Oh boy. Richard.
So real quick cut over to Jody. Jody, you see that she's bringing the jet. She's bringing you down, and it's of course not in flight, but this is the ship that she has.
Nice, pretty.
Yeah. Well, the guy who used to own it, he doesn't need it anymore because he's dead. Listen, I could use a droid like you. You want to get this thing going with your people? I'm looking for a war to fight.
Well, I think that going forward, you'll have to lay low. I mean, I don't think you can really be a general, right?
I don't need to be a general. I'm just a killer. Be nice to kill for somebody that appreciates it. What's your designation again?
Jody.
Jody.
And what do you think about being a bounty hunter? I mean, there's always a use for killing whenever you're a bounty hunter.
Yeah, if there happens to be a bounty on me, which is why you're here, and you're going to fake my death, which complicates things.
Right.
Okay. What are you proposing, Jody? How do I get into the Bounty Hunter Guild? I heard it was exclusive.
It is, and you'll have to work your way through it. I mean, it's one of those things that eventually, there are rules, and you'll learn the creed. But eventually, a new bounty hunter, they don't ask whole lot of questions about your history, and it's a way for you to use your abilities for good.
Tell you what, Jody.
And now this is where we see if she believes you or not. Please, you're trying to manipulate her into joining the Bounty Hunter Guild rather than doing what she's planning on doing.
Jody is A, completely oblivious to what she's planning on doing.
Exactly.
And B, just making conversation and trying to help out, right?
Also,
Yes, absolutely.
one of the helpful parts of the creed is no hunter can slay another hunter. So if she's got a bounty on her head, that's some motivation, perhaps.
That's true.
So I rolled a 10, and that's plus charm, so that's a 0.
Okay.
So it's a flat 10. Yep.
You back my play. Get me into the guild. You do that.
I think you can join with us. Of course, like we talked about, we can. I mean, I think Jody then conspiratoriously whispers, "It's not like this is our first time," and says, we will help get you a new identity. You'll have to do the hard work to get into the guild, but it's a way that you can take the skills that you have, like the rest of us, and you can use them towards a more positive future. I mean, are you looking? You're just looking to kill people. You're not wanting to actually. Oh wait, just a second. I think that's just a 9. I have more machine than man. When making a move relying on social intelligence, take a -1.
However, you just happen to use the right words.
Okay.
You have a little software glitch at the last moment, and it comes out sounding nice with maybe a recording of something you heard someone say.
Awesome.
Are you using Jinx to do that?
I'm using Jinx.
That's awesome.
So just a little. Jody has a little software hiccup, and when he's about to say, "Yeah," and the people there are are mostly horrible, but they are kind of horrible. He says, "Oh no, it's a very close knit organization." Where did that come from?
Griff, Jody. All I know how to do is kill people. That's all I've done for 10 cycles.
I started as a protocol droid, and I think Jody, can we say that we're on his ship now, or her ship now?
Sure.
I think Jody actually, pulls aside the cloak and shows the modified pieces and says, "I've changed quite a bit, and I added things onto myself and learned new ways. There's things that I don't remember from before, but if I can make my way, you can make your way. It just requires being with the right people."
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. And I think that this is where Jody hands off like the so I think this is the communication that we're going to have, and at some point we'll drop like a chop dock that can remove the legs and replace them with something that's more feasible and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, less recognizable.
Nice. So do we like hot cut to you guys on the ship being followed by
I think so.
Variara's ship? Awesome. That is pretty cool. I did not expect this result.
Me neither.
I really thought Variara was going to hand you guys some lunch there. That was pretty great. Cool. So let's cut to Jody. Let's have you on the ship. Maybe Variara will meet up with you guys and you airlock or whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
You're on the ship because I
So-
don't want you excluded. She's a loner anyway. So close.
when
Cramping my style. Sorry, go ahead.
when these are, bear in mind going forward, these are awful people that get put bounties on. You understand that? These are not misunderstood people. These are typically mass murderers. People who are not discouraged by the usual, threats of incarceration or retaliation. People for the bounty for whom the bounty is an absolute last resort. Okay.
Jacosta's saying this out loud to everyone.
She's saying this out loud.
And is this to is Voyara present?
She's on her ship.
No, not to Voryara.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
Okay.
no, Voryara's
Yes.
not present. She says, Voryara pulls up her history. Is I don't know what she was before everything happened, but at this point, she's reasonably classified as a psychopathic murderer. We should we've lied to our patron, and that's cause to get drummed out of the Bounty Hunters Guild and to be then instantly targets if that is discovered. And while I absolutely applaud your bravery, this situation could have been an absolute disaster for all of us. If she had come back in that ship and strafed the liner, there is very little that we could have done to prevent the death of hundreds of people.
And I think
We
Jody
might
kind
have,
of
might have saved ourselves. We might have saved ourselves.
Yeah.
But
I
I think
think
Jody kind of cocks her hip, kind of sassy, and then you've pulled up Voyara's registry, like all of the crimes she's committed, and I think Jody then pulls up her list of her crimes, like everything that's kind of listed, and kills, and then pulls up, and this is the droid like hollow emitter kind of thing, so it's like this kind of floating map in midair, and then Talon's list, and then Jacosta's list, and Wynn's list. It wouldn't be as big, right? Is it
No.
smaller?
no.
smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Jacosta's list, where it lists the crimes that she had committed or just described back on the ship,
Yes.
and Jody is what's the right word? Has no pretense about has no idea kind of what's going on. It's just basically listing out lists that yes, this is Voyara's list, this is our list.
Yes.
They're somewhat similar.
I'm not arguing that we are better than she is. But we have broken the code in order to spare her and fake her death, which is an extraordinarily risky move, especially for us, with all of us with lists, as it were. As I said, I applaud the bravery of it, and it seems to have worked, but
Well, I think she nods. She looks suitably chastened and is like, I wouldn't just volunteer that for anybody. But I've never heard you talk to someone like a person. Like, if anybody knows that acquisitions are not people, that it would be you. But you told her stuff that you haven't told me. You haven't even told us. I know that, I figure you could get a read on somebody and see how much person there's left in there. I won't, I'm working on adding to my list, I guess. Yeah, I don't have as much down there, and I'll protect the list just let me know next time. I'll be out there guns blazing. But
No,
but
you're absolutely right. This is my mistake.
it didn't sound like a mistake from what you said.
I
I'm glad that
the people we usually go after have rationalized their actions. They feel themselves to be superior or reasonable or justified or climbing the ladder, of success one corpse at a time, or otherwise morally broken people. This one was in pain. She kills because she, as far as I can tell, she doesn't know what else to do anymore.
maybe now she does a little bit. Like, I know that if we hunt down people who are terrible people and they're used to being treated and given nothing but terrible things in return, and maybe this is the one time that we get to give them something unexpected. And I think she like goes over and like whacks Talon on the back and is like, and if not, we got the disintegrator, right? Like, you could take care. I knew at any point if this was gonna go south. Look at that, right? Like, he was just gonna blow him away.
Jocasta looks at Jody and says, you must have made a very persuasive argument. She was very much intending to come back and attack the liner.
And I think at that point, Jody kind of cocks her head and is like, that's different. I don't think I actually made any argument. I just told her, the way that we've done this in the past and provided her with options. She seemed, to be honest, I thought that you and, the others had convinced her. So I don't know what changed her mind.
Well, it must have been you. Because somewhere between my last contact with her and here, she did change her mind. And so I can only ascribe that to something you did.
And I think you see the equivalent of like gears turning above Jody's head, right? She's like, I don't understand this. I don't know what's going on, but okay.
All right. Well, I'm presuming that we left enough of a mess on the liner deck to make it look like she was blown up.
Paid. You get
to
leverage if you divide it up equally. Yeah, sorry.
Would have thrown a few thermal detonators, to provide.
Too big.
One or two.
Too big.
Blasters alone don't really, disintegrate. Don't really blow people up all that much. You really have to. You really have to involve explosives.
Oh wow, we got paid.
You got paid.
I would like to make a move.
Oh. What move?
This move, I think I'd like to make the repair move.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You've definitely.
And I'd like to make the repair move on Vayari, right, to help remove her legs, and so basically help take those off as a part of the process, and possibly integrate them into myself to help repair some of the things that, not to get jet boots, but to repair some of the damage that I've already had. It's like, this plate will do well.
Get jet boots, though. Get jet boots.
No. Well, he can do a repair, and he doesn't heal normally.
Yeah,
he has to fix himself.
Yeah, Jody has to repair to heal harm. That sounds awesome. Let's do it.
Awesome. So my tech is a +1. Oh, and I rolled boxcars.
Dang. Nice work. So on a 10 plus, you heal 3 harm.
Yep. And I think what we see there is literally what I just described. It's like Jody's working with Vayara and helping to remove those clunky, obviously intended for violence legs. And I think is replacing them to a certain extent with droid legs because all the nerve endings and controls are there. So these are sort of like spare parts that Jody can't use, but are more humanistic. So they're going to be easier for Vayari to kind of get around on. But occasionally we'll see this like, oh, and I'll just take this little part. I think she actually takes like a leg and hands it over to Val, and Val goes to work chopping part of the leg up, and then she'll pick up like a plate and kind of solder it into place. And
Nice. Yeah, that is cool. So Voriara will have different legs. She'll have effectively like, I'm imagining droid protocol, like C-3PO legs, kind of sort of.
yeah, and I was imagining something a little bit more human. Yeah.
Nice. So let's say that happens on Black Orchard. Talon, what's up with you?
I would also like to make a move or have a short scene.
Yeah.
I would like to call Captain Atsmoon and provide customer service and essentially wrap up, and make sure, essentially like tie up any loose ends, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm the face to do it. So yeah, if I could have him on a, because we're on the ship, right? We're back on our ship.
You guys are, yeah. I mean, I assume Jody was doing her work on Black Orchard, so this could be any time.
Oh, we're back in our space station, right?
Yeah, on the space
That's
board.
Black Orchard. Okay, yeah, on the spaceport. So yeah, I would like to have him, as a blue hologram and parlay with him.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh, you left such a mess. I thought that you worked more cleanly, Disruptor.
Captain, I wanted to personally call and tell you my regrets for the mess that our quarry left.
Yes, Gavin Thulo spoke highly of the valiant efforts that you performed, but still, so many
My
credits were
apologies.
lost. I don't know if the victor is going to continue to be space-worthy at this point.
Captain, I have full confidence in your abilities. You really do run the tightest, most beautiful ship. Is there anything that I can do for you to make this right? And unsaid, it will be like within reason.
Within reason, of course. Unsaid thing. He says, I was thinking of perhaps having a future cruise with the idea of more dangerous element. Perhaps you could come by and make a celebrity guest appearance as the disintegrator. I've got Boba Fett, the assassins coming to play. And what do you think? I might be able to get Dorn Krenth if I can afford them. I've blown up,
Well, you you are speaking with the right person. Let me speak with you about our bounty hunter package. And I have a presentation where others can live out their bounty hunting fantasies. It's called the Hunt the Hunter package. We would love to set this up for you.
That is great. Do you just wanted the scene? You didn't have a move you were trying to fire?
I didn't know how annoyed he was going to be. It sounds like just by role playing it out, I've smoothed things over. If he was going to be more resistant, I was going to roll like charm or something. But he seems to be good, right?
Well, he has insurance, so like he kind of let off with, "I do have insurance, but I need to make sure the passengers are, not going to quit coming here." And he seems to have played that off with Gavin Thulo and with this future appearance by the Disruptor. You agree to that? Yeah, there you go.
I do. And one more thing to help spread our notoriety now as a
Mhm.
group. I will say, Captain, I'm not one to boast, but I do want to let you know that you were serviced by the Disintegrator and his group. Any future references will be greatly appreciated. I will let you go back to your duties. I will not take any more of your time.
Thank you, Disintegrator. So you got the bounty, which is a total of 8 leverage. I assume you guys are dividing that equally. Each of you get 2 leverage. Let's quickly talk about how leverage works, because you may want to spend some of it. So spending leverage. The good news is you guys didn't take any wounds. This is the least combat. I was so disappointed. I really wanted to kick your ass. Anyway,
Sorry.
you can visit a dock, which you don't need to. Chase a dream. And I'm looking at row 34 on situational moves in case it's easier for you to read than just listen to me talk. Chase a dream. That's just where you use up. So leverage isn't just credits. It's also assets, resources, friendly people, that kind of thing. So chase a dream means that you're working towards your drive. Reminder that at the end of our 5 sessions, you'll be rolling a retirement move, and the more drive boxes you've checked, the higher chance, the higher bonus you'll have for that roll. You can train, which means you improve yourself. You can mark an XP, or you can go shopping, which is just I spend a leverage and you'll get a weapon, armor, piece of gear. If you want to get a ship, it may be a few leverage. So I'd like to quickly go through the leverage and see if there are any scenes that result from that. Let's start off with Jocasta. Oh, sorry.
Just real quick, how much we got? 2 leverage?
Each of you have 2 leverage, yes.
Okay.
From this hunt.
Yeah, once you're back on Black Orchard, how did you want to spend that leverage?
I'll spend several of it on experience, on training, I think.
Okay, so you're going to
Maybe
spend
one.
both leverage on XP.
Yeah. And I had
Did we
Oh,
have
that's right. You guys
leverage
got
from the
some
last
from
session?
before. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that'll rack me up.
Yeah, I've only got 2.
Right.
But that makes sense.
Cool. So then what do we see? Like, how does Jocasta train? Is there like a montage, or what do we see?
Oh,
from-
absolutely. Uh, Jocasta, let's see. This is in the ship.
It can be during ship, but like time is going to pass. You guys are hit back to Black Orchard. This is kind of a downtime phase. Just so
Okay.
I'm really curious.
So
how
back
you
on
guys
Black
are with
Orchard, what Jocasta does is she goes to a place on Black Orchard, which is essentially a holy spa
Ooh.
that has a pool that has basically a sacred pool. And she strips down to nothing, does her ablutions, and then she walks into the water and sits on the bottom of the spa, underwater, in arms and legs crossed, arms, one palm on top of the other. And she meditates, and after a couple of hours or so, she comes back out again.
Interesting. So what about when? How are you spending your leverage or your downtime?
Is it bad to spend the leverage once you have it? Like, should you save at least one of them, or does it matter?
Let me tell you. leverage, spending it as leverage between hunts is a lot more effective, because when it becomes stash, like you can basically use it
Oh.
for stuff on an emergency basis, but you get screwed in the end. So
Okay.
totally
Yeah.
spend it as you got it, unless you had something you want to save up for.
I definitely want to use one for my drive box. And I think I might use the other for XP,
Okay.
just because. Is that now? Where's the XP track?
It's
Is it
down on
full?
row 75.
Okay.
I've put it right next to improvements. So
Okay.
it's check boxes. And when you do all 5 check boxes, Daniel, a little message pops up telling you get it in advance. It's so exciting.
There's a message. Oh my gosh.
It's
This
totally
is
a message.
fantastic.
I know.
I love
It's
it.
a thing that I dorkily got excited about. Anyway, cool. So tell us about your drive, and what does that look like? What's your drive?
I think my drive is and let me know if you think of something more exciting, but I think that since she's there with the rocket skate crew, I think that they've run into, like, Larche is pretty elusive in general, it sounds like, from the NPC description. And I think that he's been promising this stadium, and they haven't gotten it yet. And so I think what she's gonna try and do is use this more like, oh yeah, I just came back from helping, Viscount, what's his name, quell these people. It would be great marketing for the spaceport, if we could advertise that, we had that they could come see us, do this, but also like trying to parlay what little reputation she's gaining into a way to get to him to make a better argument, slash maybe she hears something along the way that she can use as dirt on him to compel this Star Wars Elon Musk type to get them some better can actually promote them properly.
Cool. So what you find, we'll give you a couple things. First of all, using the leverage of, hey, there was a Baron that you guys helped out, that kind of thing, they'll go far. Like, they get you a little bit of notoriety. Your team is probably more impressed by that than anyone else, but they've got your back. Your team, like your rocket skate team. But I think using that leverage, what you'll find out is that Larce, he's from a pretty wealthy family from a place that's real far away from here called the Minos cluster. And that most of the children of the Say family have been relatively successful. The youngest won this famous race called the Tour de Minos recently. She's the reigning champion. Lar hasn't really done a super noteworthy thing. So, the idea that you've got a connection with a Baron, you're starting to get the notion, hey, if Lar thinks that promoting this rocket skate is the way to make Black Orchard more impressive, popular, impress the family, that might be an angle.
Okay. So he's got racing in the family. He's got
does have racing in the family. If you happen to talk about his sister Marseille, I'll stick that in his NPC write-up.
Awesome.
Older brother of Marseille, Tour de Minos racing champion.
Interesting that he's interested in rocket skate, short track racing, basically.
He did recruit, like he has that intention, but other stuff keeps kind of drawing his focus away. The other thing you'll pick up is that Jordan, who is the enforcer on Blackwood, like head of security type, he is not a fan of this rocket skate thing. He thinks that it brings the wrong kind of element, wrong kind of people here. Scum and villainy, you heard him saying. So he is very opposed to the rocket skate thing. And you know that anytime you're not around Larcey, if he starts to lean towards, yeah, maybe we should get them in the stadium, Jordan's gonna talk trash about you guys. So just so you know, Jordan
Okay.
is an antagonist to rocket skate arena plan.
Butter up Jordan. Got it.
Yeah. I've got a pic of Jordan. Hopefully he looks menacing. Talon Gendro, what are you doing in your downtown?
I would like to make a couple calls. I will still be on the holo communicator. And I would like to call Gavin Thulo. And the way that I picture it is he is on the med bay at the Victor, surrounded by nurse droids going, ooh, bah, ooh, bah. And he is like, don't poke me there, you're going too hard. Like, he is not happy that he got shot in the leg. And yeah, I'm gonna open up with like, Gavin, looking tough as ever.
You know, 12 parsecs never went this bad for me before, man.
Gavin, I think you and I both know that anything can go sideways at any moment.
I knew it was a bad idea and I did it anyway. I blame myself for giving into your charms, Talon.
Gavin, the histrionics, please cut the poodoo. Okay. You and I both know you have top medical attention at the Victor, and you know that I'm going to cut you in. Out of character, what would be the leverage equivalent of like what someone not in the contract, like, you know, a last minute subcontractor, like how much would he expect to get paid for his trouble here? Like maybe one leverage?
Yeah, one leverage would totally cover all the stuff that's going down with the nice nurses and getting healed up and getting a little bit on the side. Yeah, it's what leverage is abstracted to be a significant sum.
Okay, so he would be happy with one leverage.
Yeah, he's just gonna try.
Okay,
to,
cool.
You know,
I think
you for more because he's like you.
Well, yeah, of course. So I think you know, Talon is still in his, or Talon has taken off his jacket and he just has the suspenders on now, you know, and his legs are up and he's like, just check your credits. He's gonna grab a data pad and be like, boop, 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 and then like the numbers are just gonna go on his account, like he's gonna see, you know, one leverage worth of credits now in his account. He said, look, I always take care of you, and don't forget to tell your friends that the disintegrator left you whole. That's all I ask.
Give me a charm. Let's see if
oh really?
Gavin...
Oh gosh. Oh no, baby.
It's how well does he do it? Does he like, oh yeah, sure, but he doesn't exactly follow up on it, or is he wholeheartedly pushing?
Okay, yeah, okay, cool. I like it. Oh, 11.
Oh, he's like, all right, I see your play now. I get it. I see how it benefits me. And that's what's most important here, Talon Gender. I like you, but I don't like you. But I'll do this.
Gavin. I don't think, I wouldn't expect any less of you. And I'll give him a little.
I look forward to you when we have the Scum and Villainy tour. Captain's already talking about it.
Oh, that's great. We have a I didn't know you were such a thespian. We have a position available for you as Rancor number 3. So we'll talk about your audition later. Ta-ta.
Okay.
Boop.
Nice. And I'm about to like cut away, but you end that call and then you see that there is an incoming call to you. Cool. It is coming from the planet of Taris, Taris, Taris.
Okay.
Cut away before you answer that.
Okay,
Jody, what are you doing in your downtime? We know a bit of that. You were doing the healing of harm, but what did you want to do with your leverage?
Yeah, so I'm going to spend one leverage to get gear and say that part of that repair gave me one more armor.
Oh, hot. That sounds great.
Yep.
I have
And
to shoot at you more now.
oh, that's true. I might have to rethink that. Because one of the things I wanted to play around with was more of the repair and machine man kind of thing, and see how that extra harm did. And if I do an armor, you have to do a bunch more harm to me.
It's true.
We'll see. Yeah, it made sense story wise, but I
Yeah.
might read that.
If you
but-
wanted to say you bought the gear and it's your jet boots, that's another way to do it too. But whatever you want. If you want the armor, you got the armor. It's all good.
I think we already have like a skater in the group. I don't want to stomp on her, so yeah. I'm good.
I think if anything, she would think that was hilarious. Also, hers are more like forward, and whereas hers seemed like the jet boots seemed like jetpack like upwards. So yeah, if you don't want it, but if you're not doing it just because like she has rocket skates, don't worry about that. I don't think it will.
No, I think it'll be fine. But I think I am going to spend a couple of points of leverage towards my drive, and I
Okay,
think this is
hot.
a conversation that I think Wynn and I will have
Ooh.
regarding. I think this is kind of a debrief about what exactly happened, because Jody doesn't fully understand. Jocasta said that. What was her name?
Jakarta?
Voyara.
Oh, yeah.
That Voyara wasn't going to join, wasn't going to, go through with what we had proposed, and was going to renege on the deal. And I don't understand why that would be the case. And so I think there's this debrief session where Jody is confused, and I think Wynn kind of helps her come up to speed with, oh, this is what you said that was really important. And
Well, I think that because you mentioned she was a protocol droid, I think Wynn is probably like, well, but you always know the right thing to say, Jody. Like you did. When people don't know what the right thing to say is, they go talk to you and you give them a list of what all the appropriate things are to say. Maybe something jarred some of that loose for you.
Ooh, interesting. I don't think I think that's what most organics call instinct, and I'm not aware of that. That must be my innate programming to talk through things like that. I'm not normally very good at it, but not anymore. But maybe this time was different. Thank you very much, Wen.
No problem.
And this scene takes place in this abandoned hangar on Black Orchard, where Wynn's team is set up their like roller skate, like the cyclodrome or whatever it's called, like the setup for the roller derby type rink type deal, but they're on their roller skates, so everything's metal. It's not as much wood, and they're doing a bit of practicing as Wynn and Jody are talking.
Awesome.
Cool. So everybody got a chance to do some downtime, spend their leverage, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So looking at time, we circle back around to Talon, and you see there's a call coming in from the planet of Terrace.
I have a feeling who this is. I will answer. Boop, boop.
It is, you see the blue hologram of another Twi'lek by the name of Hedrosam, the major domo for Korg the Black.
Mm-hmm. Hedrosam, I recognized your foul stench the minute you called me.
He has these like really long nails, and he giggles when you say foul stench because he knows you don't mean it. Of course you don't. Oh, Talon, such a corrupter.
A chuta to you too. I was about to call you. It seems like I've been able to make some headway on my contract here. Are you ready to receive some credits?
I am indeed, but there's more. The credits, of course, they are welcome. Korg the Black welcomes your attempt to make things even. But there is something even more. A more important reason that I have called upon you, Talon Jindro.
Hedrosam, you might have your own agenda, but let me make this very clear to you. There is nothing more important to me than buying out my contract.
I'm so glad to hear it, because this offer, this call that I have made, get you even closer to being free. Wouldn't you like to be a free Twi'lek? All of us, all Twi'lek, we wish to be free. That's all we want. And I offer this step towards the door of freedom to you, Talon General.
If it wasn't coming from you, Hydrosam, I would be less weary. As it is, you have my attention.
Very well. Talon Gendro, you and your team of sycophants or helpers or +2s, whatever you call the rest of those bounty hunters that you drag along, trawl in your wake. I need you to bring them to Terrace. You see Corkin the Black. There's been a little bit of a problem. We need you to hunt someone down.
I would like to know if he is lying. I think, is this a bad situation? Or
Maybe?
Maybe? Or am I investigating?
That's a great. Those two things are always weird. So, good news is both of them are rolling sharp. Really, let's look at the questions. I don't know if Read a Bad Situation has any questions that vibe. So I think investigate a quarry might be
Yeah,
the way to go
what is
here.
being concealed here?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, everyone. Let's hope I don't go blind. I believe that's a 1. Oh no, baby. I rolled a 6.
You rolled
Oh,
a
no.
6.
But I am going to spend the luck for a couple reasons.
God! Oh,
I would
dear
like to-
Lord.
I would like to spend the luck because this seems like the perfect time. When you spend luck, someone from your past will reappear in your life and soon. So this is just rife with story elements and story potential.
Yeah.
So let's do that.
Yeah, and by the way, yeah, these luck move things are never good.
Awesome. Okay, so
That's
you
why
spend
I'm
the luck.
leaning into it, baby.
Boosted it to a 12. Now you get
Mhm.
two questions on investigative quarry.
Yep. I am going to smash my fist on the table and say, don't lie to me, Hedra-san. What's your real agenda here? And I want to know what is being concealed.
Nice. So he says, we don't exactly have a bounty to offer. We don't want to go through such channels, Talon in general. So you and I, we work together. We take care of this problem. You'll be well compensated, and you may give off whatever credits you wish to your sycophants, your hangers-on, your +2s, whatever.
We're in the middle
So
of a
what's being
job.
concealed is that he does not want to open a bounty, which is super sketch.
Okay, well, we're in the middle of several jobs here, and I'm trying to pay off my contract here and do what the boss wants me to do. This is coming from you, Hedra-san. It's not coming from him. So last order standings. If you want me to come in because you are calling me down there, you're gonna have to sweeten this deal. So is there like a, how can I make you to do blank? Is there that kind of question?
That's a fair question. So I think we'll say, how can I make you do? And what do you want him to do? Is like sweeten the pot?
Essentially, I want all of us to have an extra, what is that called?
Leverage?
Money, yeah, an extra leverage, an extra share per person.
Oh, so okay. So you're driving for a bit more bargain. He says, yes, of course, of course. My master says money is no object when it comes to satisfying a problem with a Vigo. And I know that you will do what we need. And then he pops up another, like he's got a thing, and then he holds out a hand, and that's done. It's crazy. It's like holoception, because he holds up a little thing and a little hollow comes up. So it's like teeny tiny. But you recognize the Cathari. So they're like cat people. Silro, who's down on row 11, if you want to quickly go look at NPCs and places. And he says, if you don't come, then we'll be forced to kill her. Silro still remembers you. See you soon. In the hollow and the other hollow both disappear. And that's where we'll bring the story part of the session to a close. We've got 4 minutes, so there's no like end of session stuff for anybody, if I remember correctly, moves wise. One thing I wanted to check in, I know I'm not going to have time for stars and wishes, but I just wanted to check in. In Monster of the Week, there's a end of session series of questions that you ask. And I stripped that out because you can spend leverage for XP and you get XP for missing moves. I feel like the XP in this game 2 sessions in is super light. So I want to check in. Do you guys agree? It's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I have one move that I am hanging on to, and I was flipping in and out of it because I hadn't used it yet, but I was hanging on to it because it gives me XP, and I figured that I would need to do a move as much as it only gives you XP, and I was leaning toward wanting to do something that will help me story-wise, but I was like, well, if I can use this to get XP early on, then I can get another move that can help me story-wise, but...
Okay, then I'm going to slam this back in. Is the end of session questions. Did you conclude the current hunt? Yes.
Yes.
Did you save someone from certain death or worse?
Yes.
Did you...
Us killing them.
Did you learn something new and important about the galaxy?
We learned about the rebellion. I don't know how much everybody knew about that, but I don't know. That's kind of...
Yeah, I did. I didn't know the rebellion had cast-offs like this. I got a very tight read on her.
Cool.
Which is what held me up from just trying to shoot her.
Good.
It's just like this person's just been used up and thrown away.
Yep. And then the
rebels, for all of their press, are not nice people.
It's a big organization.
Yeah.
Cool. And then the last question: did you learn something new and important about one of the hunters?
That's yes, for
Rachel.
sure.
Cool. Somebody tell me one thing you learned about a hunter.
I think learning the exact specifics of Jocasta's main, at least I assume the main, it might not be the main, the psychic link and kind of her pain that she just sort of like offered up.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was really beautifully done.
Well
Yeah,
done
she
there.
hasn't spoken about Jakarta, who Jakarta is and what happened, but she certainly offered up a lot of the awful shit she's done.
Yes, and that was even like another history with another hunter, which I was like, oh, that's cool. What a cool way to reveal it. Cisco or Steven, did either of you want to throw out a thing you learned about another hunter?
Yeah, who knew Jody was such a negotiator and a sweet talker?
So
Like-
good. Awesome.
And I'll toss out that, I think that Jody had been depending on the others to talk, but found out that they had been depending on her negotiating skills as well.
Yeah, I think the software glitch that you had was basically momentarily uncovered protocol droid stuff that you had suppressed, and so all of a sudden they were like, oh, about that negotiation, it's like, okay, wait, I cut that out in order to I thought I disposed of that memory bank. Evidently it's still there.
Perfect.
Very cool. So with 3 or 4 yeses on those questions, you get 2 XP. So everybody can mark 2 more XP.
Okay. I know you have to go, Rich, but a suggestion, since we're more bounty hunters and not like people who save other people, like in Monster of the Week, maybe one of those questions can be like, did you fulfill your contract within a certain number of parameters? So like for this mission, it could be like without destroying too much of the ship,
Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you. I'm gonna I'm
Was
gonna-
the boss pleased?
The
I called
guild
him up and made
pleased.
sure.
Oh, that's cool. Is the guild pleased
Oh,
with
is the
your
guild
actions? I
pleased?
like that. I like that a lot. Cool. You still would have had 3, but man, when the guild finds out what you guys pulled, it's not gonna go well. It's gonna be awesome.
We're gonna give
What
them.
is-
We're gonna pull in so many more bounties. They're not even gonna be able to tell.
Yeah.
We'll see.
What is there to know? Somebody got disintegrated. We have
We-
proof.
And we don't let all the bounties go. We just let go the ones that are sympathetic.
Well, but I really loved like how you played her, and then how you revealed that like maybe she was gonna blow up the entire ship that we were on. Like it's hard to make somebody feel bad about letting a wounded in pain rebellion veteran like live, but you managed to do it, and that was great.
No, it worked out. It worked out great, but it was so close to disaster.
Yes, it
From
now
was.
on-
That was delightful.
Oh,
From now
Lordy,
on, I'm
Lord.
gonna call Jody the conscriptor.
Descriptor.
She's
Yeah.
our new recruiter.
Yeah, I think for the 1 XP that Wynn did, I assume that she's going to go hang around by Jocasta and see if she can get her to do some training, but she can't hold her breath very long. So maybe not the same training, but probably as like I'm
Oh.
sorry for ruining the hunt. You can teach me how to do the lethal stuff.
Oh, Jocasta's happy to
Make me run drills.
to train you. She had some of the best equivalents of fencing masters
Oh, right.
back in her youth.
I am gonna need to.
And she has a
close.
she has a beautiful gun. I mean, hand carved, to
Amazing.
fit her grip. It's ridiculous.
Oh, well, now we're gonna
Wow.
have to have some like camera highlights on the gun next session. We'll do that.
Exactly.
Yes.
for sure. Cool.
Thank you
Thank
so
you all
much,
so much for
Rich.
playing.